So for us at Hotel Cloud, we're a team of Cambridge graduates, and we partnered with a number of hotel operators trying to really solve these problems and break down the barriers between the different departments. For us, it begins with being able to monitor all aspects of your property in terms of financial reporting, booking activity, competitor rate information. And we then feed this into our machine learning algorithms to give you optimum rate recommendations, but also alongside that, e-marketing recommendations. So now you can target need periods through both rate and through marketing activities simultaneously. So let me give you an analogy. Let's say you've got a revenue management system and you've got a rate of £100 and you're not having many bookings. It might recommend you reduce it to £80. But a smart hotel can do something different. It can say, why not reduce it just to £90, but also deploy an e-marketing campaign to a loyal group of customers, and you're still going to sell the same number of rooms, but now at a much higher rate. And that's something only possible when you've got no barriers between revenue and marketing, and that's what the smart hotel aims to do. The other part of it is, what about when the guest actually arrives in the hotel? How do you maximize that revenue, as well as trying to maintain those service levels? And that's where our smart room functionality comes in, and we're glad to be partnered with Amazon on their Alexa for Hospitality program. We'll be joined by Albert from Amazon a bit later today as well. And again, once you've had that then feeds back into the monitoring platform, so it's a continual workflow in terms of maximizing revenue at every part of that customer journey. So I thought, instead of me talking about the platform, why not actually bring a customer of a smart hotel? So I've got Edward Wilcock here, who is the Director of Revenue and Marketing at London Town Group, who'll be glad to sort of demo the system for you.
I was thinking on the train up here today, why am I doing this? I'm sharing my secret with everyone about why I'm so successful in what I do, but I'm a Director of Revenue, and I guess I'm the one who uses Hotel Cloud the most, so I've been invited along to take you through how I use the system. The first thing I want to mention is how mobile friendly the system is. It allows me to get a head start before I hit the office. It's one of the first things I look at in the morning, just to see if there's been any big cancellations or changes in rates in my competitive set. And on weekends as well, it's not a chore to just keep on top of things and see if there's been any serious changes in the business. For a cluster of hotels, it makes managing them extremely easy as well, because you can see all your hotels listed in one screen. And we've gone from a sort of world where we had individual revenue managers looking after properties to me solely handedly looking after the whole portfolio. So I'm just going to take you through a few examples of how I use Hotel Cloud. So the first is the month view, so you can see the next 30 days, and you can see your properties on the left there. 3 hotels here. You can have as many hotels as you want, of course, 6, 7, 8, 9. In blue, those are dates where we're overbooked, so you might want to think about closing out. In pink or red are cancellations. In green, you've got pickup. So in this view, you can make any urgent changes for the next few days, the next 30 days, and react. You can see your competitor pricing just by hovering over. You can see the room type availability, whether some room types are overbooked. You might want to speak to operations to reconfigure the arrivals. You can see events at the top there. That's all automatically populated. So that's all fed in to the system. This is taking all that data that we previously would have had to look in several different systems, and it's putting it all in one place. I actually ran this software in parallel with many different solutions in the past, and then realized that all those other systems were obsolete. I don't need a revenue management system anymore. I don't need a e-marketing system anymore. I don't need a rate shopping tool anymore, because it's all here in one place. So the next thing I'll look at is the yearly view. And back 14 years ago when I first started doing revenue, the long-term rates and availability, that would be a sort of a chore that I might do every 2 weeks or every month. Now it's an hourly or at least a daily review. And you can see here for the next 365 days by month, we've got 2 hotels showing up. Again, the whole portfolio is here and it's very easy to click through. But the first example I want to show you is a cancellation. So we can see in January here, in red, we've had a cancellation. So we can just click on that, very user-friendly, and you can see here for 6 days we've had 20 rooms cancelled. This is how many rooms we have left to sell. We can see our price in the market there. That's the rate you're selling on booking.com, on your own channel, etc. And you can see how your price compares to your competitors. Hovering over any of those squares will show you that same data we saw before. Now if you click on the square, you can see a breakdown, 4 different views. So first of all, in financial, you can see the market segment where the cancellation has occurred. That might prompt you to speak to your groups department if that's a group that's cancelled. And you can see how your ADR has changed and how your key business on the books data is there. In the detailed charts, you can see how your competitors have been pricing in the past for that day. You can monitor individual competitors. Some might be pricing high in advance, then dropping closer to arrival. You can get an idea of how that day is playing out in your competitor set. And then in the forecast section, this is where you're going to get a recommendation for an action. So you can see the system here is recommending us just to soften that price down a bit and recover that lost volume from the group cancellation, of course. And it's giving us a subsequent increase in our forecast. It's justifying its recommendation to help you have confidence in the system. And all of this data, forecast data, can also be extracted. It can help you with budgeting, etc. So next scenario, if we could just go back, please, to the year view, is a pickup scenario. Now, it's all the way in June. This is something you might miss typically, but it's there, it's flashing, it's drawing our attention in. And we can see we've picked up 12 rooms on the 16th of June. Now, maybe an event's just been announced, but we don't want to be the hotel that sells out at the standard pricing, right? We want to be the hotel that gets their prices increased, and so we have an advantage over our competitors. Let's let our competitors sell out at £139. Let's push our prices up and sell the majority of our hotel with constrained demand at a higher price. And this is why we're typically 20% higher than our competitors in all of the markets we operate in, because we act faster and we're using fresher data. If you click on that cell again, you can see a breakdown, all the same that we saw before. In the financials, you can see the segment that picked up. In A, that's usually your flexible, higher rated segment. And in the forecast, we can see that it's recommending we push our price up with the subsequent increase in our forecasted revenue. Now, let's go back to the year view again. And this system is all about, it's about avoiding analysis paralysis, right? So it's helping you absorb this data in an easy to understand format. So you can look at it with different perspectives. So far we've been looking at the availability perspective. Now if you click on rates, you can see how your rates are looking versus your competitive set. This might highlight May. We seem to be a bit low priced in May. You might want to review that. Even though there's been no pickup as of yet, you may want to push your prices up in May to make sure that you're capturing the highest rates possible. In revenue, this is great for an owner. You can see how much revenue has come into the business, and this is to whatever reference point you want to make it. We've got here this morning at 9 o'clock. You could put that back a week, you could put that back a month, and you could see how much revenue has come in to each month for each hotel. Rooms pace, that's a favorite of revenue managers. That's how we can measure how our pickup and demand is year on year. You can reference that back to 2018, 2019. You can just toggle the reference point. So we can see in December, in red, that's a bit of an alert for us. Our pace is behind. So if you click on that, you can zoom in and you can see it's those weekends at the beginning of December where we've sold less rooms this time compared to last year at this same time. So how do we react? How do we make up that pace? Well, as Amit mentioned earlier, other revenue systems may recommend dropping your price, but in this day and age, with costs increasing, wages increasing, inflation going rampant, you don't really want to drop rate. And this is the unique point about this software. It gives you the promote section. And this is where you can develop targeted e-marketing campaigns where you can drive business into your hotel without sacrificing your price. You can do so many things here. You can send people emails on their birthday. You can target people that only have a certain spend above, let's say, over £5,000 in the last year. You can offer those guys some Prosecco next time they stay. You can give dedicated voucher codes. You can send, we do pre-arrival emails to encourage upsell, squeeze a bit of extra revenue. You can send post-departure emails. How did your stay go? And by the way, don't book on third party next time. Book directly with us. And here's a voucher code to reward you for doing that. But to push those weekends in December, we may want to look at the events. So the events section is automatically populated as well. In whichever market your hotel's in, all the leading events will come in here and you can see them, so you can tie those into your newsletters. You could do some sort of package rate with a local shopping centre if it's Christmas shopping time. The options are limitless, and the best thing about this is the reporting side. So once you've sent your newsletter, you can then see clear reports of how many people opened it, how many people clicked on it, and how many people then went on to make a booking. So this newsletter has generated £2,282. That is from people who received the newsletter and then made a booking. So you can A/B test your newsletters. You can send them on weekdays, weekends, mornings, afternoons, and you can see which works best, which method works best for your property and for your business. So the analysis side of this is second to none. Then the opportunities section at the top there, that's great if you're short of time. Let's say you've only got half an hour before a meeting and you want to get that low-hanging fruit. What changes can you make in your business to get the maximum impact for your revenue? So you would want to choose obviously the highest, so we can see here £828. If we make that change on the 15th of November, the details will show you the justification for that change, and then you can just click confirm, and that change will be made for you, and you'll have the resulting uplift in revenue. So it really helps you identify that low-hanging revenue fruit. Then the analytics section, this is something I use in revenue meetings all the time. Gone are the days where you need a revenue assistant to take screenshots and paste them into a PowerPoint. Now you can start the revenue meeting under budget and you can finish it over budget because this data is updating in real time. So you can see here in blue, these are the bars of the actual data of the hotel. And if you click on the RevPAR, please Amit, at the top there, yeah, you can also compare to your STR competitive set in purple. If you can see that line there on the 1st of October and September, if we go back, you can see all that historical data. So you can see generally we are beating our competitors by a significant margin. And this software, as I say, is one of the main reasons for that. Please don't tell all my competitors. Our budget's there in orange. And in blue, we can see last year's actuals. Again, you can put that back a year to look at 2019. You can compare to the same point in time last year if it's in the future. And if we go back to October, we can also see the forecast data in there, in the dashed lines here. Right. So that's taking you through most of the ways I use the system. Now, finally, last but not least, the icing and probably the cherry on the cake is the voice, the Alexa, the Amazon Alexa. So not only is this doing revenue, analysis, e-marketing, but it's also enhancing the guest experience with technology. So I'm very proud to say one of our hotels was the first hotel in Europe to introduce the Amazon Alexa for Hospitality smart property technology. So all our rooms have an Alexa device, and it does all the normal things that an Alexa device does, right? You can set an alarm, ask what the weather's like, play music, but these Alexa devices are tailored to our property. So they're just another marketing tool for us. And once we installed this, we saw our room service revenues increase by about 20% because it's so easy for a guest to order. Alexa can make suggestions, you can change the responses, but it's not only driving revenue, it's also saving on cost because it's taking some pressure off our operations teams. Because all those common questions that someone may ask, like what time is checkout, what time is breakfast, where is the gym, that's all pre-programmed into Alexa, and it's a win-win, right? Because the guest is getting a quicker response to their question. They're not having to wait for someone to answer the phone, but also the receptionist has those calls, that pressure taken off of them. And it frees them up to maybe help guests in a more detailed way, in a more specific way. Now, that's the guest-facing side of this, but there's also a staff-facing side, and it's improving efficiencies for our housekeeping teams. The housekeeper can go in a room, clean it, and then say, Alexa, room is clean. And Alexa's going to update the PMS straight away. So if there's a guest waiting there to check in and you've got no rooms clean, that message is coming instantly. That guest can be straight away checked into that room instead of waiting maybe half an hour for the piece of paper that someone's ticking to be brought down and for someone then to update the system manually. It's also fixing maintenance issues. So Alexa, my television's not working, my safe's not working, that goes straight to your maintenance team, and they can then go and deal with the issue. And from a director's perspective, that's great, because you can see if there's any common issues coming up in certain rooms. You can monitor how quickly your team are responding to all of these issues. And yeah, I'm really excited as well, because one of our hotels soon is going to have the Alexa with smart screen installed, and that's just another marketing angle. So you can have pictures of your dishes for room service, you can have little maps, like it's fully customizable. And what I love about Hotel Cloud is it's not like one of those companies where you have to log a ticket and there's no face to the company. I'm very close to the Hotel Cloud team. They set everything up for you. They can onboard you in less than a week, and they can help you through all of this. But it's very easy to customize. So if you go into conversations here, you can see in the setup all of the common questions that someone might ask Alexa. And if your breakfast times change or something changes, you can just simply update the response that Alexa's going to give, and you can update the images that the Alexa screen will have as well. And yeah, smart room as well. We've got a hotel where we're just going to start with blinds, thermostat, lighting. All of those things will be controllable through the Alexa device. And that's about it from me. So I'll hand over to Albert now, he's from Amazon.
The Amazon Alexa Smart Properties team in Europe, and I'm really proud to work with Hotel Cloud. I think just to wrap up, obviously this little device, which is the Amazon Echo, is leading the voice revolution. As you can see, we are getting to the point where people are actually doing more voice searches than they are doing text searches on their phones. Amazon Alexa is already a very popular voice assistant. In the UK, it's the most popular and the most used. So your hotel guests will feel very natural when they go to a hotel. Alexa for Hospitality really brings all the things that I had mentioned, but really the key point, and the reason I'm here today that I want to make, is privacy. I think this is probably the most important slide for me, which is the most frequently asked question is Alexa listening to my guests? Well, the short answer is no. What we've done for this program is that we do not store or record any voice data from customers. So we as Amazon don't even know who's in that room. We do not keep those voice recordings. So that's very important for you as managers of hotels, but it's also very important for us in Amazon. So we are expanding this technology across hotels in the UK and Europe together with Hotel Cloud. So I really look forward to working with you. We already have some great experiences, for example, in the US with hotels with 5,000 rooms, where we see, for example, within 2 months, 5,000 interactions for on-property buys, or 12,000 Alexa interactions just about property hour bars. So people really are using it really well. And now just to wrap up, Amit, if you want to close the session in 30 seconds.
We were worried that, is it just a gimmick to put Alexa in the room? I'm sure you're all asking the same question, but we were quite keen to collect the statistics to prove exactly what impact it could have. And in McKeel Hyde Park, we've now been in there for a year, and we've seen a 25% reduction in call volume to receptions as a result of Alexa being there, but also a 12% increase in room service revenue. So it's something that can actually have actionable impacts on your property by being there. And now, as Ed was saying, the sort of launch of the Echo Show means the level of personalization can improve even further with the screen experience, where you can have personalized guest experiences based on who's in the room. And you can have the full food menu presented to your customers, so it can be spoken to by voice or by touch, and you have that visual cue as well. And the level of possibilities are endless. You can have messaging from reception, you can have guest surveys, you can even integrate into spa facilities if you've got a spa facility on board. So the possibilities are really quite endless. As Ed also mentioned, it's not just the guest-facing side, it's also the staff experience, where you can actually improve efficiencies in the property on the cleaning and maintenance side. So just to run through an example of the maintenance side, when someone reports an issue, whether it be a member of staff or someone, a guest, they can just say, Alexa, repair the heating. And then when it's fixed, the maintenance person says Alexa is fixed. So now you've got complete visibility of every part of that journey, from when the issue was identified to when it's picked up to when it's resolved. So you can really understand all the details in terms of the maintenance aspect of your property. So I know time is tight, but I would just like to say thanks for your time. This is the Smart Hotel platform from Hotel Cloud, and we'll be on stand 1A, and we'll also be available here afterwards for any questions that you may have. So thanks a lot for your time.